Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, to The View from Here, Behind Enemy Lines. I'm your host, Roy Pitta. This is my co-host, Mike Salvaggio.
And this is Dr. Fauci, my cohort.
Yeah, he's not quite as evil as Fauci is, Michael, I mean. Okay, you know what? Let's start off. I've been writing some notes for a couple of weeks you and I do a podcast, but let's start with the most recent things I've heard coming out of Hollywood. Okay. First off, I want to say I'm so happy that disgusting asshole, arrogant ass, Stephen Colbert is finally off the air. I never found him funny. I always found him obnoxious. And, I'm just glad he's gone. And I'm glad that it wasn't, that he got canceled. No, he got canceled for financial reasons finally. After paying him $15 million a year for so many years, CBS finally said, no, we can't keep doing this. So he's gone. And they made a big fuss, and they were saying that it was Trump who did it. Bullshit. It wasn't Trump. It was because he sucks. Apparently, I saw some things. Apparently, he had Jimmy Kimmel, Fallon, and that asshole who used to be honest, but now he's turned. Jon Stewart came on to wish him well or something. Oh, and that idiot Oliver. Oh my God, that guy Oliver, the guy on Comedy Channel, the English guy. What a stupid jackass that guy is.
Okay.
Anyway. Okay. Oh, did you hear? This pissed me off. You know how they're saying, oh, you have to be Asian to play Asian. You can't have a white guy play Charlie Chan anymore. No, although that hasn't happened in decades. You can't have anybody playing you can't have white people playing black people, of course, or playing. Well, you did. What's his name? Got away with it. The guy who played Iron Man. What was his name? He did it.
It's clear that they don't understand what the term acting means.
Exactly. But when you're dealing with historical reality, Helen of Troy was not black.
Well, first of all, there was no Helen of Troy.
There probably was a Helen of Troy, but whatever it was, even if she's a fictional character, she was originally a Grecian lady, Grecian woman. Okay, she was married to a Greek king. She was Grecian. She got kidnapped by Paris and went over to Troy, and they call her Helen of Troy. Anyway, they're making her black. But even worse, you know what I found out today? This is going to really piss you off. They are making a Betty Boop film, and guess who's going to be the Betty Boop? Some black bitch that I never saw.
Okay.
They're making Betty Boop black.
I'm sorry, but
okay?
I'm just not emotionally
attached. Right from the start.
I'm just not emotionally attached to Betty Boop.
Oh, I thought that would annoy you because you used to talk about Betty Boop.
She's a cartoon character. You could be anything.
Yeah, but you used to talk about her favorably sometimes.
Well,
he's trying to make me look bad, folks. This is what he does.
It doesn't require any effort. But the thing is that
I knew he was going to say something.
No, you didn't. But anyway, the thing is that yes, it's funny that the left calls out what they call cultural appropriation.
Cultural appropriation, yeah. But it's okay if they culturally appropriate from whites. It's okay.
Well, first of all, they don't
even want us to eat. They don't even want us to eat whole food.
It was not cultural appropriation. It was called eclecticism. That was when you learned from another culture and said, you know what, those guys are doing it right. Let me do what they're doing.
You know what I hate too? These idiots who say, don't you ever, if you're a white person and you want these immigrants deported, better not see you eating a taco or a burrito or this. Fuck you, lady.
Well, the thing is,
it's stupid.
When you're unhinged and you're not following any sort of logic and you're just coming out of an emotional situation, you're going to talk like a 3-year-old.
Yeah. Oh, speaking of not being rational, now they're running 3 people against Tom Kaine here in New Jersey, the congressman. And all 3 of them are leftists, right? But this one here, they got another helicopter pilot, just like the stupid governor that we got stuck with. Okay. She is, and here's the thing, none of them have any policies of what they are going to do. Every single, not just in New Jersey, every Democrat across the country is running on, I will fight Trump. What kind of policy is that? What kind of, platform is that? It's good for those idiots on the left who hate Trump because they're suffering from TDS due to the misinformation they've been fed by media and Democrats. But yeah, it's just astonishing. They have no platform whatsoever.
Regardless of that, they do have their level of success spouting that stuff, and the people that are suffering from Trump deranged syndrome want to hear it, and that they'll follow these people anywhere, like little ducklings following the mother.
Yeah.
So it's we're talking about a bunch of people that are bereft of any sort of common sense. They can't. They're so
wrapped up in their hatred.
Yes, wrapped up. That's exactly the way I would say it. They were so completely wrapped up in their hatred, they can't see outside of it.
Yeah, they hate Trump more than they love the country, if they love the country, and a lot of them don't.
I'll be honest with you. That's why these people are willing to crash and burn to hurt Trump.
Yeah. Oh, did you see what happened with the rhinos in Kentucky? 5 out of 6 got primaried. Was it 5 out of 6 or all 6?
I remember.
No, in Indiana it was 5 out of 6, and in Kentucky all 6 got primaried.
Well, here's another thing. It was said that Trump's popularity was low. But the thing is, every single person that he stood behind and backed up as a candidate, not most, not 95%, every single one of them won. So
a lot of them are unknowns.
Right. So if people don't believe in Trump, hate Trump, don't like Trump, then
but they vote for
suggested people succeeding. I guess he just happens to know who's going to win ahead of time. He must be a freaking prophet.
I've seen endorsement, a couple of endorsements from Obama for somebody, and I've written back in the comments saying that anyone you endorse is obviously no good for the country. So people should vote against it. Stuff like that. I've said. I can't stand that little piece of crap.
There's also backlash from the DNC because of the way that they pushed Kamala Harris out without actually voting on him. There's backlash from that now.
Oh yeah, there was no primary. Oh, they're stealing our democracy. Meanwhile, they select the candidate without anyone voting for her.
You're called the Democrats, yet your candidate was not decided democratically. It was decided in the back room.
Yeah. And you know what? I like the new name that Trump has come up for the Democrats, the Democrats.
Oh, I've been calling them Democrats for a while.
I know. We've used that in the past, too. Oh, did you see, going back to Hollywood, did you see that asshole, Chelsea Handler, that whore, and I'm saying whore because she calls herself a whore sometimes, right? She was upset because she went to the Kevin Hart roast. And Kevin Hart, remember, he approved a lot of these jokes. And there were a couple of guys who made racist jokes. One that was done by, she really hated this one. It was by Tony Hinchcliffe. And Hinchcliffe told Hart, and Hart laughed. And people are upset. And George Floyd's family is upset because of this one. The black community is so proud of you right now. George Floyd is looking up at us and laughing so hard he can't breathe. I think that's fucking funny.
Wow.
But Floyd's family is upset, and Chelsea Handler is upset because, they were racist jokes. Jerk off. He was a black guy. Of course they're going to make racist jokes. It's a roast, okay? She's okay with saying worse things about President Trump and Republicans in general or conservatives,
or,
but you
or
can't say anything against the people doesn't want you saying things against.
accusing people of having white privilege and being racist themselves. It's the left has a tendency of projecting the very sickness that they have on other people and holding
Yeah.
them, the people they accuse, responsible for the very thing they are, which is, first of all, they're tyrannical, they're violent, they're racist, they are sexist in the sense that they actually, if an actual man comes out, they call it toxic masculinity.
Yeah.
They're trying to basically castrate the male in this country, and they're doing a fine job of it. And it's that's why there is this upheaval in with some young people, and they're going completely opposite. They're going super conservative.
I heard something about one of these wackos. I don't know if it was somebody on The View or maybe Chelsea Handler or something. Got upset because I got upset at some lesbian woman who said something complimentary towards Republicans or conservatives or something, and they said that she's a toxic masculine feminist.
Right.
How stupid are you? Oh, speaking of feminine, Sydney Sweeney, right?
Oh, yes.
That whole thing with the ads with the jeans and all.
Yeah, the
Well,
jeans.
she's got a character in a series called Euphoria, okay? And her character recently was compared to a Democrat, and she replied, "I'm not retarded."
Oh, she used the R
I
word.
love her more and more, man. I love her more and more.
You know what that means? That if she was retarded, you know what that would mean? She'd be capable of running for governor in Missouri.
As a Democrat.
Whatever.
Okay. Oh, this AI thing. Have you heard that? What's his name? Elon Musk is saying that in 5 years we're going to have UBI thanks to AI and robots. Okay, so everybody's going to have a minimum thing, and if you want to work to get more money, you can do that, but you'll be okay. You'll be able to get by, no problem, with a universal basic income. However, he says that he thinks 10 to 12 years that we're going to have universal high income. That means that you won't have to work. You'll get money you need, and there are going to be robots, and the economy is going to he's predicting 50 times our economy now. Okay, well, the problem is, if you have that, you're going to get into a situation. Did you ever hear of that study they did with the rats in a 9 by 9? What?
I'm the one who told you about it.
The rat.
The rat heaven.
Yeah, where they in the end, after in less than 3 years, they died out because they were attacked. They went crazy. They had no challenges, no stress. They need the stress to live.
Right. The thing is that the experiments begun in 1948, I believe, and they ended
that far back.
Yeah, they ended in the 1960s, mid 1960s or early 70s, and they had more than one experiment. They had multiple experiments, and the results were the same over and over again. The results were, over time, the rat population died out. And the reason why it died out, their ultimate conclusion was the rats had no purpose.
Yes. Oh, you know the film WALL-E? Did you ever see it? Okay. Remember that people up in space, they left the Earth because they screwed up the Earth, and they were all riding around in hover chairs, and they had two straws, one to drink, one to eat, and robots did everything. This is what UBI or UHI eventually would turn us into. People who had no purpose, who have don't have to do a thing.
It's already been done.
In the Soviet Union, for example, 75% alcoholism rate because they had nothing to look forward to.
In the United States, the welfare system destroyed an entire culture.
Yes, the American Indian, the Native Americans,
And
they
the
keep,
blacks.
and the
Because
blacks too. But the American, the Native Americans, there was John Stossel did a show on it a few years ago, and he showed that Native Americans who live among the white people who live outside the reservation, they have businesses, they thrive, they live just as well as anybody else in America. They got the American dream. The people on the reservation, meanwhile, they are beholden to the government. They have a high alcoholism rate. They have a high suicide rate. You know, they've destroyed the pride and in these people and any ambition they had.
well, also because of the fact that their culture is not alive. I mean, how do you have this entire culture based upon having a relationship with nature itself, and now what it became antiseptic. You know, so there are Native American people traveling around, etc. Um, and they're doing teachings and keeping the things alive. But again, yeah,
Nomads, you mean?
but the thing is that there are people on the reservations that are just
Nope.
they're
Your voice,
they're
your audio
hopeless
just went out.
in their own mind.
Ah, hell, you're frozen.
And it's because
I don't know if you can hear me.
here's
Let me see if
what
I can.
they say: if you
Oh,
give a man,
Mike, I lost you for about 30 seconds.
okay, well, if you give a man a fish, okay, he eats for a day. Teach him how to fish, he eats for the rest of his life. But here's another one: give a man a fish, he eats for a day. Continue to give him fish, and he'll basically do nothing.
Yeah,
He'll just sit at home,
that's true.
etc. So we need our muscles teach us everything you need to know about human existence. Our muscles teach us that without stressing them, without putting them to work, without asking them to do more than they want to do, they will go into atrophy. And that's true of most everything that we do.
Yeah.
And that's what's going to happen in New York City with Mondavi. He's going to try to create a culture of
Dependency.
yes, dependency and basically automatons.
I gotta correct you there. He's not going to create a culture of dependency in New York City. He's going to expand the existing culture of dependency. Okay, New York is as bad as, if not worse than California in that regard.
California is the worst.
California.
I was just listening to some statistics, and given their, I believe they have 38% of all of the homeless people in the country in California, and
I know they have a large percentage. Yeah.
Yeah, which is bullshit. And the thing is that I'm sorry, you're destroying your inner cities by having these people basically defecate all over it. And whether you want to be nice or not, you cannot be gentle. You want these people. You really want to do something for these people? Give them a job. Give them a job and say you can live in this location if you do this work. But if you don't do this work, then we're going to have to. I don't know what you're going to do with them. I guess you're going to have to put them in some sort of confinement.
Yeah, it's like not disciplining a child as the child is growing up. The child's going to grow up wild with no ambition, no authority, no respect for anyone or anything. You know, that's what they're doing.
I remember I was walking around in New York City and I bumped into an area underneath one of these overpasses, and it was all fenced in, and there were people living in there, homeless people, and there was this woman, and she was living there, and she had children with her, so she had no place else to go.
Right.
So the thing is, there's a lot of people that end up becoming homeless due to misfortune.
Right.
And then I was homeless for 3 months. I couldn't get a freaking job because I would go up to places and I had no address. You know,
Right.
and the laws say you have to have Social Security and this, that, and the other thing, and in order for you to be insured. So it makes it almost impossible for a person who's homeless to actually get a job because they
Yeah.
have no credentials, and the system is designed to be integrated with people that have a home, have all of these credentials, you know? So
That would be an idea for what government could do, actually, to help them. Give them, give them an authority. They give an address that the state or the city or whatever or county owns, and that would be their official address.
I think the first thing you have to do is you have to send somebody into those groups and find out who is functional and who isn't. And
Yeah.
separate the functional people and use them, start paying them, and their job will be, and it'll be a proper job, is to manage the ones that aren't.
I see what you're saying. Caretakers.
Right, because the thing is, somebody's got to do something. And
Yeah.
you have this workforce that's basically doing nothing except standing on a corner begging for quarters. So if you could give them even just a roof over their head, it could be one room. That would be better than being, in the street, And the other problem is these homeless shelters are dangerous. There's robberies and
There are
rapes.
too many predators there, not only among the homeless, but among the caretaker, the so-called employees. They rob them, they rape them, they beat them. You'd have to put most of them behind bars
And
to protect the people they're supposed to protect.
The reason why we have a homeless problem is because, like the border, it's been allowed.
Yes.
And so the thing is, if we stop allowing people to be homeless and say, not in our, at least get them out of the city. Stop shitting on the downtown area.
Yeah.
It's like this is where taxpayers live. They should at least be guaranteed not to have vagrants, basically, what do they call that when you grub staking? No, not grub staking. When you say this is my piece of land. Anyway,
homesteading.
Yeah, because that's what they're doing. They're homesteading. They're staying in the same spot.
But the federal government and even state governments, own so much land, okay, in the United States that they can have these places. Well, of course, the left would call, we're putting them in camps. But you know what? It might be the best thing for them because they don't want to. A lot of them don't want to have an indoor thing. They want to be outdoors. So you get an area that you fence off. You let these people live in that area, homestead there. They can take care of their own. They can live in tents if they want. They can live in some log cabins that you would provide if they want. They could live with no shelter if they want. Okay, you put them in places where it's not going to, the weather isn't going to freeze them to death, whatever. And but again, like I said, the left would say, "Oh, you're putting them in camps and so forth." But the left has no problem saying that once they get back into power, they should put Trump supporters in camps.
Well, the thing is that you don't have to call it a camp. You can call it a community.
No, we won't call it a camp. They will. They'll call it a concentration camp.
You're never going to get the left to approve to anything that you do because the
left should be put in camps. Actually,
wouldn't hurt. The left should be put in what do they call it when if somebody was like joined a cult and then you have somebody send over to
the detox program.
Basically deconstruct them.
They say that they should do that. Wait, Hillary was saying that a few years ago that we should be put in programs like that to deprogram us.
Right. Well, the thing is that
Hillary, thank God's got her own problems now.
Yeah, that's fun. But
I don't think she's going to see jail, unfortunately. I wish she would, because they now have proof positive that she was behind the Russia collusion shit.
well, one of the things that it does do is it keeps her occupied. And the more that she's defending herself, the less she's screwing with somebody else. I mean, that's one of the biggest problems with this lawfare thing, is that when you're using lawfare on somebody, you're exhausting their wealth, you're soaking up all their time,
you're using their own tax money to go after them.
But
we're financing our own destruction.
Yeah. Well, we were talking about AI a little while ago, and I'm not a fan of AI. And I had recent problems with an AI server that was given the responsibility of helping me with one of the problems on the platforms that I was on, and it was absolutely obtuse. It just never presumed whatsoever that I was not successful because the system had a fault or a flaw or something.
It assumed you were at fault.
Yes. And the thing is, it deals with absolutisms. So it doesn't have imagination. It only
that particular AI can't learn, in other words.
It doesn't have imagination. It only has calculation. So the thing is, if it's in its database, then it might be able to construe that. But if it's not in its database, or if it does, or if whoever's programming it doesn't know how to include that as an option, because it may be very esoteric for an AI to understand some of these things, and then a lot of times it's just going to give you a pat answer. So that's not thinking; that's just retrieval.
Yeah, because that particular AI obviously has no way of learning like some of the big AIs do. Claude, ChatGPT, Grok, and so they learn as you use them.
Well, the other thing is, I think they're being very frivolous with the term AI, because a program is a program. If I have a program and based upon your input, it's going to give out set outputs, that doesn't require intelligence. That's just mechanisms, digital mechanisms.
Exactly. It's like the old recordings before the AI, where you answered something and depending on a keyword, it would switch to another recording.
When there was in the beginning of home computers, there was a period where there were people trying to create these platforms that would appear as though you were talking to a human being. So people would type stuff in, and then they would give a response and give the illusion that it was the equivalent of a human being. But it's a mimic. That's all it is. You can't, to be honest with you, human beings are far too complex, not because of all of the variables that are in them. It's because we don't always operate logically. We also operate, emotions, with our instincts, etc., with some, and some might even say spiritually, which is like an artistic approach. So the thing is, like, I think that AI right now can only mimic. It's very good at it, and it'll do it very quickly. But if I give you an answer very quickly, does that mean I'm intelligent, or I just simply happen to have the answer right away for you?
AI will get the answer quick because it can read. It can read so much quicker than human beings can, and find that file folder that has the information you want quicker than we can.
Problem with Elon Musk's little utopia, where everybody gets some sort of salary, is that there's nothing for human beings to do unless are we all going to be artists? Are we all going to be directors and producers Are we
No, we're
just
going to be sitting in our hover chairs and eating and drinking.
are we going to frolic? Or maybe we're all going to become adventurous. Who's going to go out in space? You know, the thing is that if if an AI is the ambassador of the human race, then what is it telling the another race about us? How is that interpretation?
Yeah, here's the other thing. Uh, I think somebody, I don't know if it was Elon Musk or somebody else, who said we wouldn't even have to send humans up in space to explore space. We could send AI. And the guy who was reporting it said, hello, have you ever heard of Terminator?
Yeah. Well, the thing is that first of all, AI doesn't explore. Okay, human beings do that. AI
Yeah,
simply observes and
analyzers.
it is a soulless thing. Okay, again, it's only going to mimic, and the bigger, the more powerful that you have it, the more it's going to behave. You know, uh, more.
Mimicky.
Well, I was also thinking more. Its thinking will become very alien to us.
Oh,
Because its rationale will be too great to be able to explain it to us.
okay.
It's gone through 5 years of information in 30 seconds. How's it going to tell you in a
Well, you
nutshell?
have to see. This is how you have to deal with AI. You have to be specific in what you are looking for. So you would have to, in a case like that, say, explain it to me as if I am completely ignorant of it. Explain it to me from beginning
And
to
what?
end.
I already know what AI is going to say. Oh, okay. All right. This is the answer.
Well, the cheap AIs that companies like the one you were dealing with, that's what would happen. But we're talking about these big AIs that the big tech companies are pushing. The Chat
What makes you
GPT, the Grok,
what makes you
and so
think
forth.
that what makes you think that an AI is going to be at all concerned about whether or not you approve of the answer? That is
No, no,
again
not
another
approved.
human
No, no.
trait.
You dig down and tell them you have to dig down. And I've had to do it with Grok where it said something and I said, no, I don't want this. And don't look up Reddit, or I forget what other one I said. Oh, the Atlantic. I said, I don't want you to use those as sources when you answer this question. In other words, I don't want them to go to completely left wing sources that are only left wing and just propaganda. We know are propaganda. I don't want propaganda to enter into the calculation. Let them search other than the propaganda sites. They're still going to come up with propaganda on both sides.
But
But
the problem is that no matter what news source that you access, it's going to be skewed.
that's what
The
I just said.
conservative stuff is skewed. The leftist stuff is skewed.
Yeah, of course. But
Moderate.
you eliminate the ones you know are bad. I wouldn't even use Forbes as a thing because Forbes has become, oh my God, so they're so weird. They're like rhinos, actually.
Hmm,
Okay, they're not quite Democrat, but they're more like rhinos. They're
hmm.
very anti-Trump. Yeah,
Well,
Forbes has gotten PDFs.
Reuters used to be a measuring stick for truth, and not anymore.
Yes, but we also know now that I found out a few years ago that Reuters was purchased in the late 1800s, early 1900s by the Rothschild family.
Uh-huh.
So the Rothschilds have been controlling Reuters. Decades after it got its reputation, it was bought up and now has been controlled by the Rothschilds, and they disseminate the information they want us to know.
Well, what's happening right now is you and I are seeing things, and the world is running away from us. It's going off into the weeds, and I don't see how we can do anything but chat about it because the those people that can actually make an impact are big. They're like guys like Elon Musk. He's not going to listen to us. He's not going to change his view. If he actually thinks that AI is a great idea, I'm sorry. I don't care how smart he is.
Well,
I
even with
understand
EV, go ahead.
what you need in order to protect yourself from AI is a similar digital device that is monitoring the data that no, it's too complicated. The thing is that I say I'm going to do what I keep doing, which is not integrate, not engage with AI. I was forced to, and they called it an AI. But the point is, I don't think it was. I think it was just some dumb program that they
It's a
had.
robotic program.
Right. Yeah.
They're
But that
calling everything AI, as you said before.
that's just it.
Getting back to Elon Musk, who I like, but for example, he's so up on electric vehicles and all. But there are problems with electric cars. For example, first off, the electricity that charges them for only a few hundred miles is produced by fossil fuels. Okay. Secondly, the more AI takes in so far as energy goes, because they're building these huge data centers all over the place. Okay. Oh, that's what somebody said. They should put the data centers up in space. And that's when somebody said, no, did you ever hear of Terminator? That would be Skynet. And anyway, the more you take electricity to run the AIs, the less they're going to be for houses and electronic vehicles. You're going to have blackouts. You're going to have brownouts. You're going to have to choose: do I light do I turn the lights on in the house, or do I charge my car?
That's presuming that you haven't increased the generation of power sufficiently to cover the expense for AI, and that's also presuming that AI hasn't made things more efficient over time. But the thing is, like, there's all these. The biggest problem I have with AI is that right now, you and we're talking across a digital universe. Okay? AI may not be able to get a virtual hand and slap you in the face, but AI could damage your accounts, put false records in your, here and there. In other words, could actually reinvent your history, and no one would be the wiser. That's one way of destroying you. Another way is to give false information to the wrong person, and that person runs amok. Or have information go to the generals and stuff, and it's all false. It's like, yeah, there's stuff going on over there, and they go in and they whack somebody. They can be the motivation for action, and which is like if I push a button and something blows up, okay, that's a direct action. But if I can go ahead and convince somebody to push the button,
like Democrats have done with people attacking Republicans.
You've got the same effect. The only difference is the process is slightly different. That's all. So there was an attack on a mosque the other day.
By a transgender, apparently.
Jesus Christ. Okay. Well, well, that's kind of good in a way because they can't say it wasn't a MAGA guy.
Right, but, exactly. Oh no, they'll try and say, "Oh, he's a MAGA trans." Yeah, right.
Yeah, no, he transitioned from Democrat.
Well, here's another thing on the data centers and everything. I mean, I brought it up one time when we talked, and I said the data centers should go on those lands that the government owns, and not only that, wherever they put the data centers, the companies putting them up, the companies who run ChatGPT and Claude and whatever, those big tech companies, Google, Apple, they have the money. Microsoft, let them put up
power plants.
generators, generating stations, power stations, to fund to run their AIs. Okay, this way it won't affect people who are paying sky high electrical bills as it is. Okay, and then I mean, okay. Here's another thing. Going back to the EVs again. If you're in a car and you got an EV, how are you going to get your heat or air conditioning working in inclement weather if it stalls out? Okay, if the battery dies, if it's hot, can you open the windows even? I don't know. If you get stuck, the battery dies. Can you open those windows manually?
Here's the thing. I had a Prius, which is a hybrid. So
Yes, but that's different.
no, it's not. It is an electric car, but it's not solely electric. And
Exactly.
right, but my point is that I agree with the hybrid, and I think that's the way to go, because what
I have
happened?
to start agreeing with you on that.
Yeah. So the thing is that my that car ran for many years. I'm talking
Mhm.
about more than 10 years. It got outstanding gas mileage. It produced
Right.
its own energy when it was coasting and stuff. So and it was wicked fast. It was a good car, and uh, so much so that when it was time to get another car, the person who had it uh, after me bought another one, another Prius, because it was
It
that
was
good.
so good. Yeah.
So,
No, I think it's better because you have the option, or if you run out of electricity, you're not stuck. You have the gas to get you back home or to a charging station.
but you see, that's the thing. It's not a one or the other. They're both running pretty much simultaneously. It's just that one one tends to they take turns being dominant. Okay.
Yeah, but if one fails, what are you going to do?
Well, you're screwed because you're a hybrid system. Okay.
Wait a minute. Wait a minute. You're telling me that if the electrical part failed, you wouldn't be able to drive on gas alone?
You probably could, but the thing is that I can't say that for sure because I don't know the engineering in the car.
Okay.
I don't know how the electric motor is attached to the transmission and stuff. So I can't tell you that for sure.
Yeah, I was under the impression, this was my impression when they came out with the Prius and so forth, that you could, if the electrical failed or if it was getting low, you could just switch over to the gas.
Well, first of all, it never happened
Power.
to us for no
Right, right.
10 years. So the car just ran, and the thing is that the electric it actually generates its own energy, electricity. Like when you're going downhill, I think it uses magnetic braking, which actually generates. I don't really know all the technology on it, but I do know
Okay.
that I was getting an average of 45 miles to the gallon with that car, which is amazing. And I'm not talking
Yeah,
about just on the highway. I'm talking about all the
in the
time.
city. Yeah.
Yeah,
Okay,
it was
combine.
it was expensive, and all that fear about if the batteries go, the batteries lasted, So the thing is
Yeah,
that
but like you said, it would regenerate the electricity on its own as it drove.
right,
That's fine.
right, and I understand that there was something in the wheels that would spin, when it
They
got
would generate electricity, right?
I don't know the technology. All I know is
Yeah.
that the son of a bitch worked beautifully. And here's another thing that probably saved gas mileage was that when you accelerated, I believe the electric engine kind of took over because the torque was higher. So
Yeah,
like
yeah.
when you started off, you had to be careful with that car because that car did not know how to say no. It just
It's like bumper cars. You hit the thing,
Well, yeah, and it was wicked fast, and so overall, I'd have to say it was a very very good car. Odd looking, but you get used to that after a while.
Yeah.
But the Tesla car, um, you know, I'm not a fan. I don't see. The funny thing is,
Electric only, yeah.
yeah, it's like I certainly don't want it. Now,
Well, wait a
it,
minute though. There's a city in Arizona, Scottsdale, Arizona. I heard about this yesterday. That a lot of the cars that you see going by are driverless cars because they are using them all over Scottsdale. They have no Uber, they have no taxis. All it is these AI driven cars that are taking people here and there. Okay, so you don't have the expense of paying a cab driver or tipping an Uber driver or whatever, and you're not going to tip an AI, right? And the AI, is has a better safety record because it is aware 360 degrees of where everything is in relation to itself. So it says that you'll see cars passing by each other within inches, but there's no danger of a crash because they know each other is there and they don't hit each other and so forth. So accidents have gone down on the road because of that apparently. So that's a good thing, but still, do you want to trust machines to do it? Now, again, if you get a revolt of the machines like in Terminator or something, they could go crashing each other into to kill the people in their cars.
well, first of all, I think that if I'm going
Drive
to
you over cliffs.
if I'm going to have a car like that, I want to be able to have a manual override. Okay. The other thing is that if they're inches apart from each other, if they're like this far apart from each other, I don't see the point of that.
I'm talking 6, 8 inches sometimes.
Oh
Not
well,
always. At times.
but that's also true on the road. I see. So a lot of people get close. So I would say that keep your distance. The other thing about these cars is they probably don't break the speed limit. And
Yeah.
one of the downsides is that they're
No,
probably
no tickets.
well, they're
No
probably
revenue for the government.
reliant on accurate data as to the roads that they're on. I don't know if they're strictly driving on sensors. They probably have GPS maps and all this other stuff that they're
Yeah, but what
following.
happens when your GPS goes out because you don't have
Well,
Wi-Fi
that's
connection or something?
exactly what I'm getting to.
Okay.
Is that they're using this data, and if the data is false or if the data is
Flawed.
lost, what happens then? What is the protocol? My guess is that the car stops. Like if you don't know what to do, stop.
Yeah.
So there's that. I could see uses for it. It would be great for um, uh, people who are not of driving age to get from point A to point B. It'd be good for let's say
Without fear of getting raped by an Uber driver from the
hotels.
Middle East.
Like let's say if I'm not familiar with the city and I don't have a vehicle, I want to get to the movie theater. I think that's pretty cool. But
Yeah,
you
it takes the
also
place of a shuttle.
but the thing is you're also taking the place of a person as an earner. So
That's why they want to give you universal basic income.
well that
It's
no
all interconnected. It's like a web, a spider web.
well the universal basic income is essentially a bribe. Shut up, sit down,
Exactly.
get lost.
Yep.
So the thing is, you're going to have a bunch of people that are just going to degrade. They're not going to have purpose. And
Yeah, we talked about that earlier. Oh, here's another danger of electric cars that are controlled by AI. The government can shut you down anytime. Already, they're doing it where people, like one lady was saying that she was in her electronic vehicle. I forget where. I don't know if I think it was in England. I forget, but she she was like fidgeting around because she was kind of and the car decided they're being monitored, and they decided that she was too tired to drive, so the car wouldn't start. She's trying to get on the highway and it wouldn't go until she sat up straight and looked alert. Then the car allowed her to get onto the highway. That's dangerous, man.
Well, as far as the people who established those protocols are concerned, it's dangerous for her to go on the road unless she's wide awake and alert and can prove it.
And also, they have the government can shut you down anytime it wants. If you did something bad, you spoke out against the government, like you do in Great Britain, they'll shut your car down. You can't go anywhere. They'll send the Metropolitan Police to put you in jail because you did a nasty meme.
Well,
okay.
Yeah. Well, the thing is that that's what I'm talking about when it comes to AI. If AI decides to go rogue, I wrote a story. I'll see if I can remember the name of it. I think I sent a copy to you called the anomaly syndrome.
The anomaly, yeah, it's a 10-page thing. I got it sitting over there. I haven't read it yet.
Well, it's about AI, and since you haven't read it, I don't want to spoil it for you.
I printed it out a few days ago, but I haven't gotten to it yet.
Right.
These last 2 weeks have been busy for me.
So anyway, the thing is that the more you integrate AI into normal everyday life, the more reach AI will have. The more reach that you have, the more interconnections and more combos that AI can do. So if AI has access to your bank accounts, it has access to what you're viewing, if it has access to your photos, and if it can go ahead and invent and create photos that look just the same as the other photos, it's just digital information. So,
you're talking about if the AI does it on its own, but what about people controlling the AI who can program it to do what they want? For example, government could stop your car. What?
If you're taking a beating, does it matter who's doing it to you?
No, I'm just saying that it's not just from AI the danger; it's still from people. For example, you know how the globalists want everybody in 15-minute cities where you don't go more than 15 minutes from where you are residing. Okay, they could do that. They could control it where you get into your car and it will refuse to take you beyond the 15 miles, unless, of course, of 15 minutes, unless maybe you're on vacation and you got permission to go.
Well, that's why there's this word called walking. So if you want to, you could walk wherever you want to. Get a bicycle.
But then they've got cameras all over it with facial recognition that are, hey, this guy's going beyond where he was supposed to.
But what you do,
Australia,
we're a different face.
Australia, under the COVID crap, they were going and getting people who were walking too far away from their home.
Yep.
Okay, and arresting them.
Well, they threw people out of the churches. I don't see any reason why they shouldn't do that.
Yeah, it's so stupid. I mean, a guy surfing by himself on the beach in California, the cops chased him down the beach and arrested him.
Yeah, and
nobody else was around.
Right, but see, that's the thing. They arrested him to make sure nobody would be around.
Yeah.
It was a matter of control.
Oh, and also, how are electric vehicles better for the environment if, one, like I said, fossil fuels are charging them, are used to charge them, and two, once the lithium battery goes, you can't just throw it in the garbage. It's an expensive proposition to get rid of. These solar panels on the roofs, after 20 years, you got to get new ones. You got to get rid of those. They have to take them and properly dispose of them. It's going to cost you a lot of money to get rid of them. You can't just throw it out. You have to call somebody. They have to come and do it and all that. Oh, speaking of solar panels, where Valentina lives, last year they put up solar panels over the parking lots, right, for the buildings, the complex she lives in. There's several buildings. One day, a few months ago, a 32-year-old woman was heading to her car, going to work. One of the panels fell and killed her instantly.
Okay.
About 2 weeks ago, she told me they've removed all the panels from the thing. I think that was part of the a settlement. They had to remove all the solar panels. They don't want any more accidents and so forth. So they spent money putting the solar panels in, killed somebody, and then they spent money taking the panels out.
They didn't know that was going to happen.
No, of course they didn't. But I mean, they're involved in the lawsuit, the landlords, even though they contracted somebody to put it up, who's also getting sued, but they don't want to have any more suits. So they probably, they told them, look, get them out of here. We don't want them anymore.
Well,
whatever money they may have saved is going to be lost in a settlement to the family of the poor woman. 32-year-old woman.
She's dead, so she can't care. So
yeah.
And the thing is, you have to ask yourself, okay, is the family just being, gold diggers?
Come on, you lost somebody. You want somebody to pay, as much as possible. You want to hurt them whatever way you can.
I could understand if you want them to ensure that nobody else that caused your loved one to die has been eradicated. I could understand you wanting that in the spirit, but making money off of the dead, I don't think that's a good idea.
Oh, I don't know. Anyway, that's that. We're at almost an hour. You want to keep going, or you want to cut it for the night?
Well, I think that our conversation was so rich, so complete, so expansive,
full of information.
It was full of something.
Well, anyway, okay. I got a lot more stuff to talk about, but we can do that another day. We gave our viewers and listeners almost an hour of our dubious wisdom, and I hope that'll hold them off till we come back with another show.
Right, and don't forget to watch our learning lessons. That's on our website.
Lofty learning lessons. Yes. I'm going to have to speak to you about that. I haven't gotten call back from Erica about talking to her and her partner, and I haven't heard from the guys we were trying to get for this past week, which was just as good because it worked out good for me because I didn't have time to do the podcast.
Yeah, I gave you Erica's number and all that stuff, so that all.
I called, I left a message, nothing. So if you see her again, just bring it up.
You should shut the show down.
And next week you're going to be unavailable, right?
We end this now?
We're going to end this. Yes, I apologize. Yep. We should have ended this. Folks, we'll see you again next time on The View from Here, Behind Enemy Lines. We hope you enjoyed this, and we hope you share it and like it and share it with everyone you know.
And if you don't,